convicted felon Donald Trump, again, his administration gives favors to sexual predators. And something that I never thought would happen is a quote or a tweet, whatever you call it nowadays, from Cat Turd on this podcast. He is outraged about it. And he posts Ghislaine Maxwell and trafficked over 1,000 little girls, and the president of the United States gave her work release. And then it goes through her being transferred to a lower security Bureau of Prisons, and that Senator Whitehouse is demanding information. And you see on her level, because all of these records are public, and what it says custody out, security level minimum. And it says what stands out here is the custody level out, which allows her to leave the minimum security campus for work assignments, much like Jeffrey Epstein was allowed to leave prison as part of the sweetheart deal he got from Alex Acosta that was pinned by Alan Dershowitz. So I look at this and I think Cat Turd couldn't love Trump any more if his life depended on it. And then I think, how depraved is this administration that they think that Ghislaine Maxwell out on the town on work release is just A-okay because she will cover for Trump.
Well, yeah. And I mean, Trump is a sexual predator. So for us to expect that he would be upset about sexual predation, it's his normal. I mean, this is a guy who says that he would be screwing his daughter if she weren't his daughter. This is a guy who walks in on teenagers changing clothes and brags about it. This is a guy who says his cutoff age for somebody to make out with would be 12. So a 13-year-old is acceptable. So he was knee deep in all this Jeffrey Epstein stuff. MAGA is the party of sexual depravity, and they continue to be. Look at Hegseth. Look at the people in the administration who have a history like this. This is the point. The cruelty is the point. We're the exception to the rule is the point of this political movement. They don't give a shit about families. They do not care about kids at all. This is the anti-child, pro-pedo party, MAGA.
You're totally right, because look at the policies they vote for. And then we see some bipartisanship in this Congress, and it is Representative Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie. They are holding a press conference, hosting a press conference joined by survivors of Epstein and Maxwell's abuse, several of whom will be speaking out for the first time. The survivors deserve justice, and the public deserves transparency. That is something that I have found to be so lacking in all of this talk about Ghislaine Maxwell and the Epstein files and what does she know and running to the Department of Justice. Ask the victims. Ask the victims. They have testified. They have lived with this for their entire lives because they were children when this happened. I am so happy to see that they are reaching out to the victims, because the victims are being re-traumatized all the time when Trump says, oh, it's a hoax. Really? Tell that to Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who was at your spa when Jeffrey Epstein stole her, who took her own life. And I can only imagine how difficult it was for her to live with the trauma of being sex trafficked for all of those years. And so thank goodness we are finally hearing from the victims, because we don't need to hear from Ghislaine Maxwell. She's a convicted felon, just like Donald Trump, but for different charges. She's a convicted perjurer, and I'm so happy to see this.
There's a very alarming poll that came out over the last few days, and it is that 47% of Republicans would be unbothered and unmoved in their support for Cankle's McTaco Tits if it was revealed that he was involved in any way, shape, or form in the Jeffrey Epstein pedophilia ring. And so 90% of Republicans support Trump, and half of that 90% are unbothered by sexual predation and pedophilia. That is a number that Democrats need to be cramming down the airwaves at all time. Half of the Republican Party support pedophilia, and they need to be saying it over and over and over again. And that's how a lot of this has been able to happen. They keep saying Donald Trump is transparent. Donald Trump likes transparency, and they say it over and over and over, even though it's the antithesis of transparency, what he's doing. And it's the antithesis so much so that it's a cover up. The one thing these MAGA propagandists understand is repetition. And so they repeat lies, and it permeates and penetrates into the base. I don't understand for the life of me why the Democrats don't beat these numbers down everybody's throats all the time. Half of the Republican Party are pedophiles over and over and over and over again, but they don't do it. And I think it's a very significant number. Half of MAGA are pedophiles or support pedophiles.
Well, and look at how they support the churches. Every church that I can think of, evangelicals, Catholic, across the board, they have had some type of sexually abusing children scandal, and they're still multi-billion-dollar industries. And so I just think this whole base is primed. Well, yeah, sometimes kids get molested and we move on down the road because they're used to it because of their churches.
That's a great point.
Another thing that just drives me crazy is Trump. The way he talks about women is so disturbing. And any woman, white woman, I'm talking to you, if you hear a man talk about another woman like this, it is only a matter of time before you are going to be in the firing line. This is what he posted on Live Social about Jasmine Crockett. And we know that Donald Trump has a huge problem with Black women. He has made that completely obvious. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is a low, very in parentheses, IQ individual, much in the mold of the AOC plus 3 gang of country destroying morons, only slightly dumber. Blah, blah, blah about how great his cognitive exam is, and that he wants her to take a cognitive exam. First of all, Donald Trump could no more pass a legitimate cognitive test by a non-biased expert than the man in the moon. He can't form complete sentences. He acts like he was friends with Davy Crockett. He thinks Hannibal Lecter is real. He thinks he's going to Russia, which is Alaska. This man is not cognitively well. You could never convince me after I hear him talk that he could pass a cognitive test by an independent person. And for him to attack women like that, and everybody in the manosphere, they're just all for it because women are interchangeable. They don't have enough value to worry about.
He's always attacked women like this. I mean, he was elected after the grab him by the pussy tape. So the problem with this is Trump's always spoken about women like this. For as long as I've known about Donald Trump, he's spoken such a disparaging way about this. The problem about this is there's a whole generation of people that see this as normal. And there's a whole generation of people that go along with this and being okay with it and being fine with this because they've been primed that this is fine. And then the people who are behind the scenes are very nefarious people, Project 2025, and the people that are the pastors of Secretary Pete Hegseth's church. They want to have one household vote where the man votes. They want to take away women's rights. So all of the white women out there that you see your daughter, you want her to go to the sorority and you want her to go to college and you want maybe her to be a dentist or a pharmaceutical rep. MAGA doesn't want that for your daughter. They want her at home, completely controlled by her man with no agency, no autonomy, no bank account, no vote. That's what they want, and they're not even being quiet about it anymore. So Donald Trump saying that is far less disturbing to me than the people behind him that support him. Donald Trump's been like this for as long as he's been in my radar. That shocks me zero. What shocks me is 47% of the Republican Party that's okay with pedophilia. What shocks me are all the women that continue to support Cankles McTaco tits that will vote against their own self-interest and don't realize all of the hard work that was done by, guess what? Get ready to be triggered. Liberal white women and liberal Black women and other liberal women that fought hard for women to be able to be the racist, lying piece of shit like Caroline KKK Levitt, or to have the position like Pam Bondi does, or to be like the handmaid in the Supreme Court. They don't give a fuck that women fought hard for that, but they're going to help tear it down. They're going to help put us all back into the kitchen. And you guys, Trump is he is, what is he, 95, 98
Uh-huh.
he is, what is he, 95, 98 years old? He's not going to live that much longer. But this type of sexism and subjugation of women will, and we have to speak out against it. And I'm telling you, everybody needs to speak to their own community. White women, do fucking better. You're all about your daughter being on the soccer team. You're all about your daughter having all of this stuff. Well, the party that you vote for is not.
Well, and again, I hate to bring everything back to religion, but Abrahamic religions, particularly evangelical Christianity, is patriarchal. The man has the power, the woman is to submit. And when you say make America great again, it's make America where a woman can't buy a house in her own name. Make a woman stay in the kitchen, like you said. So that's what we're fired up about today. Please like our channel and subscribe. And I did that wrong. Like this video, subscribe to our channel. We will be back later with more news.